Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Oh, it's going to be great. This video's going to go viral, I swear. Now I gotta go find Steven. Steven? Steven, where are you? You need to edit this video. Where is he? Must be still editing the last one. He needs to hurry up, otherwise people are going to think I take forever to get videos done. Oh well. Might as well get started. Got a factory to build. Should have stick around to the end for a nice surprise. Alright. Welcome back. Yeah, I'm staring at the smelter we finished in the last episode. I did throw a air conditioning system or something on top of it, kind of like we did with the steel factory. So just a little touch up to the top of the work. Today, we actually need to move on. Got so much to do so we can get our hub done. We need to redo our tier 1 factory to kind of redo all the items we need for the rest of the main base. And then we've got to get our quickwire factory done. We got to do our tier 2 part of the factory. And we got to move on and so forth. It's going to get easier and easier, and then we can move on to tier 5 and 6. But we got a lot to do, lots and lots and lots and lots to do. We got to get started. Because I changed up the... Let me jump down from here. Ow. Gonna die. I changed up our steel... Well, I didn't really change up much, but I just adjusted based off some feedback from a guy from my Discord, Hellraiser. He suggested I don't do skyways as much, maybe challenge myself and have them use the terrain as much. So I did lower this down. This is the Caterium factory I did between the episodes. So what I did was, instead of having this road from the steel factory come all the way across and then come down this way, I kind of turned it up there. I might turn that into a curved road in the future, but right now it's just a corner, and had it run along this ridge. Just a little preliminary work, and then it comes down right after it gets off the cliff right there. I was going to bring it up this way through here. So I'm thinking about bringing it across here. I might go up and down the terrain if I really want to or not. But this level is kind of where this truck station was at, so I didn't want to go too much lower without going up and down. We've got to get these wires out of the way too. So that's what I need to do. I need to pick a quick location for us to get started. We're going to do the tier 1 factory. We're going to do our quickwire factory. If we have time, we'll throw together the tier 2 factory again. All right, let me find a location, and we'll get started laying down some work. I think I've decided I'm just going to go ahead and do our iron factory right here. It really doesn't matter where we do it. The idea being that trucks will go wherever we need to. So I think the iron factory is going to work here because I want the steel to come down here. We're going to need steel when we do things like our tier 2 factory and our motor factory and stuff like that. So I want to make that factory probably a little closer to where I'm bringing the steel in. We're going to probably do quick wire, maybe over there. We just need to bring our copper wherever we bring our Caterium ingots, which I set up over there. So I think right here is fine for our iron factory. So I'm just going to go ahead and start laying down some foundations. The factory we're building is not an endgame factory. We are building our personal factory hub, our main base, a place for us to come to pick up what we need, a place where we can set up our basic logistics, the place where we're going to go to. So the numbers we're working with, for this are not huge, but it's really a thought experiment. It's a test. Can we build can we build this kind of base with all the logistics involved? It's kind of like a mini version of an endgame factory, except we're doing it in Rocky Desert. The numbers are smaller, and we're going to be using trucks to get everything everywhere. Now, in a larger scale, when we go to the end game afterwards, I know we've been at this for a while, and you're like, when are you going to get to the end game? It's like, we'll get there. We're going to rush along here. Each factory actually get a little smaller, except for like the plastic factory and the aluminum factory. Most of the biggest factory was that steel one. This next couple of factories actually get a little smaller, and then we're going to be doing a lot of manufacturer work as we get a little further along. This is probably way bigger than we need. So the whole idea is that this is really, you could say, is like a mini endgame factory. And by that I mean we have to use logistics to get our materials and everything around from base to base. If we were on a grand scale and doing an endgame factory, we would be using trains and drones and trucks to a degree. We'd have to be able to get those from base to base where they need to go, and deal with it. And not everything's going to work great. You're going to have terrain that doesn't work, various things. So by doing our main base this way, it's a test. It's a theory. It's like, can we do the logistics properly? And some people that do large bases are like, yeah, it's easy. It's no problem. It's simple. But I haven't really gone that crazy with the logistics, the vehicles. This is what I'm doing. I know we can throw together a main base. We could throw together a bunch of items in there, throw all the machines on it, and just build stuff inefficiently. We could totally do that. Totally that would work. And if we ever do another playthrough, I'll probably do that. But this playthrough, we're going nuts on our personal hub. Our today we're going to start with our iron factory, which is not too much. We're going to be building about just 20 plates. You don't need much. We don't need the plates and iron rods elsewhere. We're going to be needing to build 21 reinforced iron plates, 205 wire, and 120 cable. The numbers aren't crazy. It's not that bad. And you're like, you build a huge base to do that? It's like, yeah, you know. We also need to consider logistics. And we also might tack other bases on nearby, but yeah, we'll take away what we don't need. No big deal. The Christmas tree is going to have to go soon. All right, let's try to think about what we need. This is going to be the ground level. The truck is going to come in from here. Where, I don't know. All right, so I have a basic idea down. I decided to go with a sort of in and out approach in the sense that I can either have certain trucks come in one side and they can go to the truck stop that they need to, and then they can leave by exiting through the center, or opposite, everyone comes in the center and then goes out back one side. And this just fits enough to fit plenty of truck stations. I said we needed, what, 6? But I said we might need 7. And if I wanted fuel, have 8. So I have enough room for 8 of them. Pretty much takes up the entire downstairs though. So I may change it up, but that's what I'm going to go with for now. I say we go up and start figuring out this factory. Let's see. We need at least 4. And then if we did a pancake floor as we did before, I don't necessarily have to have a pancake floor. So I'm going to just put a rim around it for now, just so I have somewhere to walk. Probably should get the top floor done. I know this is a bit of a box, but we haven't started the factory yet. Once we get the factory going, we'll see what we're going to do. All right, so at least for the sandwich pancake floor, we have at least a walk-around area. That said, we could just do... We don't necessarily have to have a sandwich floor but it would help when it comes to splitters and mergers, at least for laying them down. But if we wanted to make them visible from the truck station floor, we certainly could just remove the ceiling, and that way we could see everything. So that is an option. I did try to make sure that we had extra room up front here. So either for walking, I put this little bump here. I wasn't sure if I wanted to raise this, but I did know that I wanted a door here. At the very least, I wanted to be able to put some doors. But if I left it down, it was going to be a gap. So at least putting the little speed bump looking thing right here, we can put a walkway pathway on it, and our doors will actually touch the ground. So, yay for that. And I think we'll do a double. Not getting too designy, but that's what I'm kind of thinking. It's time to do some factory work. Let's see what we need. Let's put up on the board. Everything's constructors, so at least 37 constructors. Let's just go ahead and put on the board enough for 40. I don't think we'll need that many, though. And then just 4 assemblers? Yeah, we're doing stitched iron plate. So that should be good. All we need. Not much. We got a massive, massive truck station. And then just a bunch of constructors. We don't need any smelters or anything. We might be overkilling. I didn't really think that part through. Okay, so I've made a little progress. Let me climb on up and give you a little show. All right, so as we can see, I've added pretty much the machines. I extended out the platform a little bit just to kind of fit things working right. Luckily enough, it fit perfectly how I wanted to. The stitched iron plate can be done right there with those 4. We're going to have the iron plates done there. These are doing the iron wire that we're going to be used for cable and the stitched iron plate. These are for this is for the cable. We got the iron rods right here. And this is the rest of the iron wire that's going to go out for other uses. There wasn't enough. I was making too much iron wire to fit on one belt, so we couldn't do it. Now, I had a lot of extra room in the middle, so I kind of put this hole in there, and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I might use it as just a looking down onto the truck station below, or I might use it as a way to go up to the next floor, because I might actually put the tier 2 stuff here, although if I do that, I need to rethink how I have my truck stations going, because we'll have to have 4 or 5 total incoming items, and then we have 9 items going out. So yeah, I'll have to rethink how we do the truck stations a little bit down below, which I kind of changed actually. Let me show you. That was not what I was supposed to be doing. And jump down. So instead of just the asphalt 8 stations, I switched to where I had it actually come down. I thought it'd be kind of cool to kind of ramp down once you go into the building. And then right now I'm kind of using the coated floor like an epoxy floor. It's, I know the lines show up when you darken it, so I wasn't quite sure. So I might still change it back to asphalt, but you know, it's not too bad. It's interesting. Kind of like the asphalt, but inside of a building, it's interesting. I still got the 8 stations, but we'll have to see. I have room. I could extend her there for some more stations. So, you know, we would need, what, like 13? Maybe 13? I have to double check. 13 stations, maybe? If we, which means we need another 5. So there's a lot. There's a lot. I think we'll figure out the truck stations as we get a little further along. This is fine if we keep this to the tier 1 stuff and we have a separate building for tier 2. Otherwise, we're going to have to rethink downstairs. Okay. So stitched iron plate's going to be here. I have set up a pancake floor. As you can, well, not entirely. I was thinking about here, I might have lowered it down just to give an offset. So maybe we can do the other ones first, and then we can rethink this one. And I think I was going to do a doorway here, or is it here? Here's fine, too. I'm using the same basic idea that we used on the smelter, using these little walls to help me lay out, and then I'll fill them up later. I might use similar walls if we did to the smelter. I don't know what we're going to do the outside yet. Well, we'll get to that. Some of this stuff's easy. I think this is going to be iron rods. We don't need much. Nothing of our plans require iron rods, so all we're going to do is be doing iron rods for the hub. So this what we're doing here, and we're just going to do a total of, what was it, 20? So we'll just make each one of these do 10. And then that should work just fine. That's all we got to do there. These are the cable. We're doing full 4 constructors for cable. So we're doing 120 cable output. I think that was my plan. Hopefully I don't have other cable. The nice thing about having your inputs required coming in via truck is that it doesn't care where the inputs come from. So if we, for some reason, do our numbers wrong, and we can just substitute it at a truck stop, and then as the truck drops it off, it won't care. If we ever go, after we get the hub finished and we decide to go like super big, you know, if we build big output stuff, we can always like remove these buildings and just have additional, those trucks just come from those places too. We could do that. That's basically what we're going to do here. So the iron wire's here. Now this one I said we're doing 380 iron wire in this section, which is going to do 240 that's going to the cable right there, and 140 that's going over to the stitched iron plate. So I didn't want to deal too much with trying to perfectly split it and other stuff. So today we're using manifolds. We did a lot of load balancing in this. I kept calling it perfect splitting in the last episode, but I should have been calling it load balancing. I guess that's a more common term. So we're just going to keep it simple. So I think with 19 of these, we can do 20 each, and that equals 380. So at 19 times 380, I'm sorry, 19 times 20, 380. So we're just going to repeat that down the line. I should show, sometimes when you have, if you don't know, you can also do math inside here. So we have 19 constructors for the wire, and we need 380 total, and we have 19 constructors. So we can easily just put 380 as our total, and we have 19, and you can see it goes to 20. So you can do the same math you do in here, you can do inside the constructor. All right, that wire is done. This is going to be the iron plates, which we're going to be sending off a little bit to our hub, and the rest of it is for the stitched iron plates next to us. We have about 5 constructors, and we only need to make, what's that, like 90 plates? So we can do the same thing, which would be like 90 divided by 5. That says 18. Now, I could divide this where I had just 4 of these, doing the 70 required for the stitched iron plate, and then the last one doing the 20 that's going to go off to the hub per minute. But why do we need to be perfect? Why not just manifold it? And we'll have, in theory, once it fills up, on the stitched iron plate, and the stitched iron plate's constantly running, it'll still send 20 to the hub if we run the belt over there. But if the stitched iron plate backs up, then all the extra will go to the hub. So why waste that production? So that's what we're going to do on this one today. Is you might do this kind of same thing in... Now, we could be... It's still efficient as we're producing enough to support everything. And you could certainly design this a little bit less inefficient, just like you might do in something like Dyson Sphere or Factorio for your mall. I haven't really played Factorio, but I've done Dyson Sphere. And, you know, it would work out over time, as long as you're doing a decent amount. And this is going to be our stitched iron plate. We are making 21 stitched iron plate. So we could try, let's see if, I don't know if the number is going to work out here. 21 divided by 4, 5.25. We could do it. All right, I'm going to belt this up, and I'll see you in a second. Ah, I've already ran out of, I never prepare. As usual, we're so sorely interrupted by my lack of preparedness. All right, there we go. All right, let me finish this now, and I'll see you in a minute. Reinforced iron plates. We have more iron wire over here. This is just the iron wire that is going to be going off to either the tier 2 factory or somewhere else, but I'd have to look again. We're making 205, and we have 10 here. So we can just do 205 divided by 10, 20.5. I'm going to assume this is right. I'll just copy that. We're just about done. Just got to do the, or I did the iron rods. So we've already done the iron rods as well, so I'm going to go ahead and belt up the rest of this. All right, that's everything up here belted up. Now we have to do our pancake floor, which I've left a full 2 walls of space in there. So not really a problem. We got plenty of room. Pancake floor, you don't have to do 2. You could just cross the belts, cross the streams, and hide it away, and no one would know. First, we need to know where our iron is coming from. We have one 480 line coming in, and that's going to do this entire floor. It's what we did in the smelter for the iron. It's 480 out, 480 in. We don't need to do iron anywhere else but here. But these products we're making here are going to go to other factories, such as the tier 2 factory, the tier 3, and some down the line. I think we'll do... Originally, we talked about, earlier in the video, we talked about doing just one station input. So maybe we'll make this one the input line. As I said, we're going to have one 480 line. Looks like it lines up right there. So we'll do the floor hole right there. And we will just connect to it, mark 4. And there we go. I don't know if we'll do fuel here. We'll see. As I said before, everything here is using iron. I did the outsides. If we have dual facing machines, the outsides are the input lines and the insides are the output lines. If we do a single line, I mostly did the outputs towards the edge of the wall and the inputs. I'm sorry, I did the inputs towards the edge and the outputs on towards the inside of the building. So our iron comes up here. We're going to need to basically, we're going to just run a very large manifold. So however we do it, I think I'm going to run it around the edge, and that way everything else can kind of work towards the inside and doesn't have to like pass over the iron belt. So if we kind of run around the edge for the most part, it'll kind of work. We'll see. So an easy way to, when you're doing the floor stuff, an easy way to line things up, I use mark once, is you bring one down like this. And then you can, if you want to do right on the splitter or right on the lift, you could do it. You can line up your splitter right here. If you want to do one off, which is easier for belt turns. In this case, I'm not doing 90-degree turns, but I'm going to go ahead and have it on the edge here because I just kind of like it on this edge line. And after we've done that, we can easily just line it up because we have guidelines. Now, if I did everything right, these are all going to line up, which I think they are. So we should be able to just line up the splitters all the way down. We may not be able to do that everywhere. Now, we have a double here, and that means that we have inputs on this side. So we could go inwards like this, and these guys are going to come like this. Not really down this far, but if we wanted to leave the outside room for more walking space, this would work fine. Actually, we wouldn't need to do this. we would do this, because I spaced these apart like this for a reason, because they will fit our merger right. Quit snapping. Yeah. So we could have this way. We could have this way. It doesn't matter. But I kind of tempted to go this way because the more on the inside we got, the more room we're going to have for moving belts around over here. So I think this is how I want to do it, is on the inside. And again, this is so we can line up like this. And take that down. And then we can just do the same thing here. Now, as I was saying, so they don't have to cross, this splitter is going to end here. There's nothing coming out here, so we have all this room to bring products down and not cross this line. We'll do the same thing over here. We'll do it on the inside just so we have room. Now, I was tempted to maybe go down a ramp and have this one. I could still. I kind of want to. But I kind of don't. I'll figure that out. But what we'll do... Oh, got to do this one too. But the idea is that we'll basically, again, set up our splitters down here. That's the input line for the plates. And those are the inputs. The ones on the outsides are the input lines for the reinforced iron plates. But those are not actually taking iron. They're taking other products. So we don't have to worry about it too much. But let's go ahead and finish up these belts over here, and I'll worry about those a little later. So the next step for our manifold, in this case, you could do it on the floor like this. This works fine. Obviously, just like the load balancing on the smelter factory, I'm going to raise them all up. So we'll have walking room when we're done. Same thing with the merger. I really should do like an actual dedicated guide to explaining manifolds better than me just talking about it. Some more visual understanding would probably be easier, and the people that actually want to know could be the ones that watch the video. Because I know there's others that are like, yeah, I know all about manifolds. Sometimes you love them or hate them. Some people are true. They dedicate themselves to using load balancing. Some people, are happy to use manifolds everywhere. Some people do a mix. I'm kind of right now in the middle where I'm doing a bit of mix. I'm doing a bit of everything. It's fun to go outside your comfort zone. I used to use manifolds for everything because it works. What was this for? Oh, that's the output. Okay. So we're gonna take, let's see. Yeah, we can come straight down here. So we'll just take this one, which is actually Mark IV. That is not an input. Did I line this up right? I did the wrong one. Some of you guys, I could just picture it. There was someone there that was paying attention, and they saw me. It's like, why are you doing the output? They're like, he'll catch it eventually. And yeah, here I did. So we'll just bring this all the way up to the top till we clip, and then come down one. It's like that. Oh, that would be perfect if it worked. Wait, what? It lines up? Like, I would like to claim I planned for that, but... That said, we're going to have to do a splitter right here to split this manifold. I mean, theoretically, yeah, we could run the manifold all the way down there and find a way to come back up this side. But, whatever. We're just going to split it right here. Where are we doing it? Right here? So we'll just find the lines. There's the lines. So we're going to input that side. And then we need to come in. All right, that'll work. And then for this one... What's right there? Now this one, if we keep this like this, is just going to go further down the line that way to wherever the next splitter is for this, and then that's it. That's the end of the line. Merging, exactly the same as we did in the smelter, so I'm going to go ahead and merge this line down to the end. I'll see you in a minute. I just realized that I think these were the cable machines, and I didn't need the iron for them. They're actually the wire we're making behind us, so I think I got to change this. But that's okay. I think what I'll do is I'll just move the splitter to this side, and then I'll have the wire come down here and fill these machines, and then the other, it'll split and go down. The rest of it will go to the stitched iron plate. Let me go ahead and belt up the rest of this, and then we'll make plans for what we're going to do next. All right. So, everything appears to be belted up properly. All of our inputs and outputs are pretty much done. They're going back down, floating down to the truck stations below. I took away the 8th truck station, and then I later realized that I remember why I wanted that 8th truck station, because I was thinking about having all of the exact materials for the hub go to the 8th truck station, which would have fit on a Mark IV belt, no problem, which means I could have auto-sorted it at the hub and then sunk any overflow, and it would have worked, but I didn't do it. I forgot why I had it. So I may go back, rearrange some of this stuff, and do that, but if I do that, I'll have to overclock a machine here or there to make all the numbers work out. So I will worry about that later, because I'm not going to redesign this platform and all this stuff just to fix that problem. If I have to spend a few power shards to get the numbers right, to do it the way I want, yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about what this orange box is. That is something I was playing around with, so it's a little secret for now, and I'll show it to you later. And yes, it's a big box all the way around. Now we got all of the belt work done. We obviously need to power it on, and then we'll have to get iron over here from the smeltery, but then we've also got to go to the smeltery and get all the ore to the smeltery so the smeltery can produce everything. So I started doing some walls like I did in the smelter, because the smelter was really cool. And I was thinking, oh, I could probably do a very similar design here. It looked really cool in the last one. But, and so I started doing some walls like this, and I may or may not keep it. Part of me wants to have this open a little bit, just because our original starter factory, which we're basically replacing part of, has been open for most of the game. So I might come back and figure out what I'm going to do these walls, but I think it's about time to figure out how we're going to do the main factory. And we're not going to make just a box. So I'm going to talk about a couple of design ideas that I had. There was something that I saw, I think, from Scully or something. He did something on one of his builds that I really want to try. So I'm totally going to yoink it, and I'm going to do one. So it's just one little piece of aesthetic. So I'm just going to set up a little platform here so we can talk about this, because it's really cool. All right. So the one thing I want to do, and let's just use coded for this so it looks different. No, I want coded. Is that not coded? That's asphalt. We want like coded. Let's use coded, and yeah, that'll be fine. So we'll put one here. And what I want to do, there's a few ways to do this. I've played around. There's a few ways to do this. One, what we're going to do is we're going to create a gap. So one of the ways we can do this, so one we can do is a beam. Put that on top, take it away, and look, we have this little gap. We can just repeat this process. Snap it to the beam. Just kind of hard with just boots. Put another one on top. Can I get up here and do one more? Can I snap it? I don't know if I did that right. I did not do that right. There we go. Jumping! I need to get the jetpack, seriously. So that's one way to do it. It's really cool. And what we can do from there, which is really cool. Let's just put a beam. We can go really close. This makes it easier, so we can go far. We can do it in the back. We can do it that far back, or you can do it close. I'm going to do it close. So we're just going to put another beam here for a second. Actually, it'd probably be easier to do it from this one, so we'll do here. And then we can do one of these big screens. And if you look, it fits like perfectly, covering all three. And then we can do something like this. So we can like set the background. I don't know. You can do red. You can do yellow. We'll get rid of this. So we can just change the layout to this. Save sign settings. Get rid of this. Turn the brightness up. You can do 2. You can do 3. And then look at that. That looks kind of cool. You can go with the 3 as well. Or the super bright. Doesn't that look cool? And just imagine that in a line or something. And obviously you can go deeper in if you want to. And you can get rid of these. A couple other ways to do it. So we'll do another one right here. You can also do this. You can use the frame. Going on top. One on top of the frame. Frame. And you might be like, well, that's easier than the pillar method. And that does look like that. But if you notice something, there's 3 and 3. But look, it doesn't line up. Why is that? It's because these gaps are smaller than these. And I believe there's an even, I think we can also do something even smaller. But I think it's a combination of both. What was the last way? I think it was something like, we can do this frame pillar, and then we stack this right on top of the frame pillar. And then we do another pillar, frame pillar. Yeah. I need like a tower to do this. All right, and there we go. That's all three. Then we can just take away these. Take away these. There we go. And you'll look, they're all different heights. So there's 3 different methods. So this one does about 40 centimeter gap. This one does a 20 centimeter gap. And this one does maybe 50. Let's use 4 meter foundation to see our comparative heights here. This one will match up with 8 meters after you have 5 openings. This one, on the other hand, is going to take a few more. And this one, here we go. So like that one, it actually ends up a little bit above the 8 meter mark. And this is fine, depending on what you're doing, where you're placing it. The little bit of offset, not quite matching up with the design or matching up with the frames, it's okay. It just depends on what you do. You know, you can always put these on top, you know, or something, and just kind of end your design. It just kind of depends how big you want it. And so that one, I think, is halves. We're clipping it to the, we're clipping it or snapping it to the beam and then stacking it on top and deleting the one in the middle. You just need to snap it to it'll snap to an end of the beam. So as long as you have something in the center, you're fine. And then we stack it on top. And this one, as we can see, is actually going a little bit higher too. So this might be, yeah, it's like half a foundation, 50 centimeters above the 8 meter mark. So they can all line up, but it's just going to do it at different levels. So depending on what you're doing. Oh, I was going to stack that there, and this one goes away, and this. Well, I did that one wrong, didn't I? I deleted the wrong one. Oh well. But you could do that, different design, bigger sign, still works. And the same thing here, we can actually extend this sign. Send it over. Let's copy it. And where is it? Where is it? I don't know why they call it small billboard, but so depending on what you do, it's a pretty cool design. I'm going to do something like that. I'm not quite sure how I want to incorporate it yet, but I'm going to do something like this, and that's 3 ways to do it. So when you see the end product, I'm assuming it's going to be there. You'll know how I did it. I think what I'm going to do is box this up and attach some design to it. We'll probably incorporate some of the styling we did on the smeltery. I'm not sure to what degree. And we're going to incorporate some of those funny design ideas. We don't have a ton of room to use blocky designs. When you use some design like that, it's very blocky. So you need to make sure you have extra room outside of your factory to do a big sort of thick wall. Instead of just doing walls, you're going to be using like foundations for your walls. So if you do something like that, you need to make sure you have room for it. So we're going to have to find some way to cram it in here. We have room in some places, so we'll see what we can do. We do have plenty of room on these sides. We'll do something. I think what I want to do also is incorporate some of the design ideas from our steel factory and like maybe have these areas be inset. So where'd my ladders go? Let me climb up there. Oh, wrong ladder. Doesn't matter. So maybe we'll do something like this where we inset it like this. And then we can do some sort of, some walkway walls. Something like that. That'll look pretty cool from the, that looks pretty cool. We could color that black. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Yeah, I'm painting tiles. I'll have to go fix it all. Delicate touch. We need an option to like only paint the kind of object we're trying to paint. So we don't do this. So that looks kind of cool. So something like that. Maybe we'll stick some walls in there. You know, just to give it some depth. Something like that. Just let's do one. We have to do gates. So maybe something like something like that. Give me a tower. Let's take a look. I know I need the jetpack. I'm aware I should go do it. I mean, I have oil over there. I have packaged fuel. I could totally do it. So something like that. I don't know what we'll do here. Because maybe we can... do something like this, because we're going to do that big wall pattern, so we might have some leg like that. And then maybe we could do this a couple times. You know, to kind of give it depth. Squeeze in. Oh, really? Really? All right, there we go. Maybe we can do this a couple times. Like this. All the way down. Can I make it? Probably not. No. You see, just giving that depth really does something for it. Just those little details. Adding the little bit of the wall here and on the top just kind of gives extra depth to the whole thing. It adds to it. So, all right, I'm going to go play with the design, and then I'm going to see you in a few. Well, we're here. Things are running. Factories are moving. We can move on. Oh, you want to see some of it? Oh, okay, that's fine. Here's our hub station. Everything's going into it. It's going to be a complete and utter mess. Hopefully, it's not a big mistake. All the belts are moving. I love it. The thing is alive. To get this working, I had to go do a couple things. First, I had to get the ore for the smelter factory. Then I had to power it on. Then I had to go do some trucks, and they went perfectly. Oh, that's not a great start. What are you doing? The node's over there. No issues whatsoever. Almost did it. Do a wider turn. Can't see. Oh well. I'm a professional. What are you doing? Are you driving backwards through the node? What in the... Where are you going? Seriously? Is it driving backwards? It's driving backwards. Let's go take a look at the factory. Oh, it's gorgeous, isn't it? I love what I did here. I took away all the walls that I did originally, and then I just used beams for everything. I just kind of surrounded them in little frames. I got signs everywhere to say what everything's making, where it's going. I was going to do red lights originally to like the smelter, but I decided to go with some more pale colors and stuff, and I left this up here for fun. Looks great. I just think, oh, the factory just turned out so well. I love it. You know what's even better is I'm going to let this save go so you guys can all check it out yourselves. But let's just show you the creme de la creme, the thing that I had a little fun with, and that... Well, these stairs are a part of it. These are a gorgeous thing. Is my courtyard. This was so good. I just couldn't believe it. This just turned out so good. I actually, if you paid attention earlier in the episode, you might have saw something over here before I boxed it up, and you might have seen a little angled thing that was going up there. That was a stairway. And then I wanted it over here. And so I zooped all the foundations over here so I didn't have to rebuild it. And then I had this kind of, you know, big long stairway, and I was like, this is kind of cool. And so I decided to turn this little area into a courtyard. This is from D4DubZ, Triple Z. He posted something like this around a coal factory or something on my Discord and a while back, and we asked him how to do it, and he posted little screenshots of how to set up the lattice. And so I took a couple tries and I got it. I just put it as my centerpiece for decoration in the courtyard because I don't have any trophies yet, but I thought it looked good. I got the little angled part here for depth, and I got the more flat kind back here. Obviously, it could go way bigger. It was fun, and I still did the stairway here. These little lights, this was inspired by something Hellraiser did in a little screenshot of his. He made this awesome building, and there was nothing inside except this one stairway, which just looked fantastic. And he had these little lights on, so I completely stole that from him. I just wanted to see if I could do it. Oh, this is gonna be the best part. The courtyard was great, but the building itself, oh yeah. Well, this is really tall. And let's take a look. How does that look? I'm really happy with the way this factory turned out. It is just gorgeous. I adding some angles on there that I don't normally do. It's not a box. I just improved on some of the stuff from the smelter factory, and I kind of did some things differently. I could have had this thing facing the sun. That might have been a slightly smarter idea, but we are where we are. I can't say I'm an expert when it comes to lighting. The external decorations just look really good. There's some little accent colors. There's some lights for the nighttime. And I think it just came together really well. I'm really happy with everything that happened. The top, I tried to do a little bit more than I did with the smelter factory. The fans on the left were just me putting some boxes with asphalt, and I used beams that weren't quite going diagonal. They were just a little bit offset, so the fans looked a little bit offset from the frame thing sitting on top of them. I'm really happy with the way these roads turned out. I originally saw a video from Catifly, which had a really inspiring setup with what he did. I wanted to do something similar with my roads, which was mainly the pillars on the sides. I didn't do it quite like his. And I had to play around with it to see if I could get these curves, and it took several hours to figure it out. I'm going to dedicate like a whole video to how I did these roads, so people that are interested can be looking forward to that one. The curves were a lot of fun. This ramp right here I did at the very end. I was just trying to see if I can do it up to this little Caterium factory that I have here, which you guys haven't seen really yet. It just does 150 Caterium per minute. But I just wanted to see if I could actually get a ramp up there, because I had a truck station below, and I thought it'd be really cool. This save should be available in my Discord within about 24 hours of the video airing, so you guys can, download it, jump in, check things out, look wherever you want, even use it if you so like. I'm going to move on to the next projects, which are my quick wire factory, my tier 2. We are 300 hours in, and I've only finished tier 1. How funny is that? Anyways, if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button, leave your comments below, subscribe for more, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.